The galactic arena floated in the middle of deep space like a giant metal moon. Billions of alien eyes watched it through live streams, waiting for the yearly fleet exhibition to begin. For most species, this event was entertainment. For warlike species like the Vorkon Empire, it was a chance to show power and scare their rivals. Every year they bragged the loudest, and every year their fleet won the highest score. The arena lights glowed bright blue as thousands of alien ships stood ready in parking positions around the central area. Noise and excitement filled every screen, every audience hall, every alien home. The announcers shouted about powerful laser cannons, shield generators, and new engines that could outrun comets. Everyone talked about one thing: the Vorkon fleet. Their ships were massive, sharp-edged, and built with black metal that swallowed light. They moved like predators. The Vorkon commander, General Xorthal, stood on his command bridge and smiled with pride. In his mind, there was no question. Today again, they would dominate the arena. Alien commentators repeated the same joke again and again: humans were too weak to even join the event. They called humans soft-bodied, slow thinkers, and primitive tool users. Many alien viewers laughed when they heard the name of Earth. It was a small world, far from the center of galactic politics. No one took the human species seriously. No one believed they could build anything close to a proper warship. Inside the arena, the Vorkon fleet activated their engines, glowing bright red. Their massive ships took formation, showing perfect discipline. The audience roared in excitement. The ground shook, the lights danced, and the commentators shouted that the Vorkon would once again show why they were the strongest empire in this region of space. Then, suddenly, the arena lights flickered. It was only for a moment, but the change was enough to silence the cheering crowds. The lighting dimmed, then brightened, then dimmed again, as if the arena systems were confused. A nervous sound moved through the alien audience. The arena's central AI core, a calm mechanical voice that never made mistakes, spoke at the top of every broadcast. Attention! An unknown signal is approaching the arena. Classification: undetermined. Origin: human space. Millions of aliens froze. Some laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. Humans? At the fleet exhibition? Impossible. They had never participated before. They had never been invited. And even if they wanted to join, what could they possibly show? A small patrol ship? A cargo vessel? A slow, harmless machine with weak guns? General Xorthal snarled with irritation. He believed someone was trying to mock the event. Then the arena AI spoke again, this time with tension in its voice. Warning. Large object detected. Unknown human-built vessel is entering controlled space. The giant steel doors of the arena's main entry bay began to open. A blinding red warning light washed through the entire structure. All fleets inside the arena stopped moving. Every engine cooled. Every weapon remained offline. No one wanted to start a war by accident. The opening doors revealed nothing at first, just darkness. A deep shadow moved behind the barrier. It was impossible to tell the shape, size, or purpose. Alien sensors tried to scan it, but all scans failed, showing only static and error messages. Even the Vorkon flagship could not get a reading. A whisper moved through the alien spectators. What kind of ship could block all scans? Not even the strongest empires could hide their ships completely. Even cloaked ships left some trace, energy trails, heat, or reactor noise. But this object showed nothing. General Xorthal leaned forward in his command chair. His crew looked nervous. He ordered a full scan again, but the result remained the same, unknown. His pride did not allow him to show fear, but his hands tightened on the rail. The arena AI announced again, but this time, its mechanical voice sounded almost unsure. Unknown human battleship, entering display zone. A deep metallic hum filled the arena, like something ancient waking up. The shadow inside the doorway grew larger, closer, clearer. Even the dark shape alone made alien hearts freeze. Slowly, A massive black surface appeared out of the darkness. It was smooth, polished, and completely without markings. No windows, no lights, no visible engines. Only a giant, endless wall of metal. The ship kept coming, and coming, and coming. It was easily bigger than any Vorkon battleship. Bigger than anything the arena had ever recorded. Gasps filled every alien hall. Some spectators shook their heads, denying what they were seeing. A few species with heightened senses stepped back from their screens, feeling a pressure in their bones as if the ship itself carried gravity inside it. The more the ship entered, the more the arena seemed to shrink around it. How can humans build this? One commentator whispered. No one had an answer. The ship moved silently, without any visible thrusters. It floated like a dark mountain sliding through water. The Vorkon flagship looked tiny next to it, like a child's toy. Still, the ship did not send any message. No greeting. No explanation. Nothing. It was completely silent. And somehow, that silence was more terrifying than any weapon. Then, without warning, a single pulse of white light flickered on the side of the giant human ship. Just one blink, short and soft. Every alien sensor alarm went red. The arena AI screamed. Warning! Human battleship is charging an unknown system. The entire galaxy held its breath. And the giant human warship continued moving forward, like a shadow preparing to swallow the arena whole. The human ship moved slowly into the arena, but every alien eye followed it like a predator stalking its prey. It was enormous, black, and impossible. Nothing in the databases matched its design. Even the oldest Vorkon commanders shook their heads, whispering that this could not be real. Inside the Vorkon flagship, General Xorthal's claws tapped nervously on the console. His crew scanned and scanned, but all their sensors failed. The ship had no heat signature, no energy spike, nothing to detect. It was as if it had entered a different reality. Impossible, muttered a young officer. We have never seen anything like this. It should not exist. Xorthal's voice was cold. It exists now, and it dares to enter the arena. The alien commentators tried to regain control of the broadcast, but their voices trembled. Ladies and gentlemen, one said, we are witnessing something that is beyond our knowledge. A human ship, larger than any known battleship, has entered the arena. Some alien spectators gasped so loudly that their screens nearly fell from shock. Other species whispered prayers. Some simply froze, staring at the giant black silhouette moving through the arena. The human ship did not fire. It did not communicate. It did not make any aggressive move. Yet, every alien in the arena felt the threat it carried. Its silence was louder than a war horn. Target it, Xorthal ordered. Scan. Identify. Prepare defensive strikes. The weapons crews rushed to their stations, activating energy shields and laser cannons. Red lights flashed across the Vorkon flagship. Missiles hummed as they loaded into launch bays. The rest of the alien fleet mirrored the commands. Every formation shifted to surround the human ship, confident that even if it was huge, they could overwhelm it. But then the first warning appeared. The sensors began blinking, screaming errors. The targeting systems froze. Lasers and missiles that aimed at the ship went off course, striking nearby asteroids and even small alien fighters by accident. What? Yelled an officer. Our weapons, our systems, they are failing. Xorthal's claws tightened on the rail. Do not panic. They are just tricks. This is the arena. They cannot have technology like ours. He was wrong. From the human ship, a faint pulse of energy spread outward. It was not a weapon, not exactly. It was something else, something the sensors could not interpret. Within seconds, alien targeting computers stopped working entirely. Missiles tumbled in space, spinning harmlessly. Shields flickered and went offline. General Xorthal felt a cold sweat on his forehead. The humans were not attacking yet, but the Vorkon fleet could not even hit them. They were blind, powerless. The arena AI broke into alarms. Red lights blinked everywhere. Caution! Unknown human vessel is unresponsive to all scans. Weapons targeting failure confirmed. Danger level, maximum. Alien spectators were no longer cheering. Some were silent in fear. Others began yelling at each other, confused, angry, and terrified all at once. This cannot be. How is this possible? Humans are supposed to be weak. The human ship moved slightly forward, its massive bulk gliding effortlessly through the center of the arena. There was no sound, no engine flare, no signal, only the shadow itself. Suddenly, a thin line of white light blinked along its hull. Just one flash. Short. Soft. But it was enough to make every Vorkon officer freeze. The sensors went wild, the computers screamed errors, and even Xorthal's confidence faltered. "What are they doing?" he shouted, though no one could answer. The arena AI added in a mechanical panic, "Warning! Unknown human battleship is charging an unknown system. Caution, energy levels exceeding all known classifications." For a moment, time seemed to stop. Every alien fleet froze. Every spectator held their breath. Even the bravest commanders looked at each other with wide eyes. The humans still did not speak. They did not move fast. They did not fire. But every alien in the arena understood one terrifying truth. This ship alone could change the outcome of this entire event. Not just the arena. Possibly the entire region. The shadows lengthened as the human ship moved forward slowly. Its presence made even the strongest Vorkon vessels seem small and fragile. The silence of the ship pressed on everyone, a quiet roar that drowned out the chaos. Xorthal banged his fist on the console. "Fire warning shots. Show them that we are not afraid." Missiles launched from the Vorkon fleet, their engines glowing bright. Energy beams cut through the arena. The spectators cheered in fear and excitement. The human ship did not flinch. The first warning shots hit the space around it, and the impossible happened. The missiles twisted, bent, and exploded far from their target. The alien lasers fizzled and curved away, as if invisible hands redirected them. The arena went silent again. The cheering died in seconds. Every alien fleet commander stared in disbelief. General Xorthal realized the truth, and for the first time, he felt fear. Not anger, not pride, fear. The human ship, still silent, still black, continued its slow glide through the center of the arena. Nothing could touch it. Nothing could predict it. And in that moment, billions of eyes across the galaxy watched history unfold. They did not yet understand what humans had brought to the arena. They only knew one thing. Everything they believed about humans was wrong. The shadow grew larger. The lights of the arena reflected against its hull. And the story of a species thought weak, soft, and primitive was about to begin in a way no one would ever forget. The alien fleet had never faced anything like this before. Their weapons failed. Their sensors failed. Their confidence, once unshakable, began to crack. Every Vorkon ship that had once moved like a predator now floated uncertainly, unsure how to react. Inside the Vorkon flagship, General Xorthal slammed his claws on the console. His face was pale with anger and fear. How can this be? They are humans. One ship, and we cannot touch it. His officers whispered among themselves. "It should not exist, not in our reality," said one. "We are trained to defeat any fleet. How can humans?" The human battleship remained silent. Its massive black hull glided effortlessly through the arena, and yet, there was a sense of controlled power in its stillness. The more it moved forward, the more alien pride began to crumble. The Vorkon tried again to intimidate it. Their ships formed tighter formations, shields glowing red, engines flaring. They fired warning beams across the human ship, hoping to show dominance. The audience watched with anticipation. Surely this time, the humans would be forced to react. But the human ship did not flinch. No shields activated, no weapons fired, no engines flared. It was almost mocking. Then, suddenly, a faint hum radiated from the ship, soft but powerful. Alien sensors could barely record it, yet it disrupted every system near it. Missiles fired by Vorkon destroyers curved away, spinning uselessly. Energy beams fizzled in mid-air, unable to hit the target. The arena AI blared warnings. Warning! Unknown human vessel is active. All alien targeting systems are compromised. Commentators whispered in disbelief. This is impossible. One human ship has disabled an entire fleet's weapons. How can one ship do this? Exorthal's claws dug into the console. Do not underestimate them, he said, though his voice trembled. Prepare full attack. If they can survive this, we still have numbers. The alien fleet gathered, ready to strike again. A few bold commanders tried to flank the human ship, moving in coordinated patterns. They fired every available laser, missile, and pulse cannon. Nothing hit. The human ship did not accelerate, did not dodge, did not fire. Yet, everything aimed at it failed. It was as if the ship was surrounded by an invisible wall, one that bent the rules of space and energy around it. The alien fleets began murmuring in fear. They had fought hundreds of battles, defeated dozens of rival empires, and yet here they were, powerless. Their confidence, built over generations, was gone. A small alien officer on the Vorkon flagship whispered, almost to himself, "They are not like us. This is not war. This is something else." Exorthal's voice boomed. "Signal them. Demand a response. Show us your intentions." For the first time, the human ship responded. Its voice was calm, cold, and without emotion. It echoed through the arena's communication channels. "This is the UNSV Black Horizon. You fired first. Protocol permits defensive action. Stand down or face consequences." The alien fleets froze. A chill ran through every officer's spine. The calm, controlled voice of the human ship carried more authority than any alien commander's yell. Even the audience sensed the power behind those words. General Exorthal banged his console in frustration. "They dare to speak to us. One human ship dares to command the Vorkon fleets." The humans still did not attack. They simply hovered, silent, letting their warning hang in the air. The alien fleets, confused and angry, whispered among themselves. Was it a bluff? A trap? Or had humans really built a ship beyond their imagination? Suddenly, the arena shivered. A subtle vibration ran through the entire structure. The human ship's hull glowed faintly for a fraction of a second. The aliens could feel the power it held, restrained but ready. Every Vorkon destroyer's targeting systems went completely offline again. Exorthal's eyes widened. They are bending the rules. They are bending physics itself. The alien commentators struggled to keep calm. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented. One human ship is controlling the battlefield without firing a single weapon. All alien targeting systems are failing. The situation is dire. Across the arena, the human ship slowly moved forward. It did not need to accelerate. Its presence alone disrupted everything around it. Alien fleets tried to circle it, trying to find a weak point. But there was none. No heat signature. No energy emissions. Nothing. The silence of the human ship became heavier with every passing second. Alien pride, once so strong, had begun to crack. The spectators, billions of eyes watching, suddenly realized they had underestimated humans. They had mocked them for centuries. They had thought humans were weak, slow, and primitive. Now, they were realizing the truth. Humans were something else entirely. And the story of the human battleship, silent, enormous, and impossible, was only just beginning. The Vorkon fleet was panicking. Their weapons had failed again and again. Missiles tumbled in space, lasers curved away, and energy shields flickered without warning. Even the youngest cadets on the flagship whispered that they had never seen anything like this. General Exorthal slammed his claws on the console. Enough. Full attack. We will not let one human ship humiliate the Vorkon Empire. Every ship in the alien fleet activated their weapons at maximum power. Thousands of laser cannons, missile pods, and plasma beams lit up the arena. The hum of engines roared like a giant beast. Alien commentators shouted for the audience to watch history being made. Surely this time, the humans would react. Surely this time, the Black Horizon would be forced to move, forced to defend itself. But nothing happened. The human ship floated calmly in the center of the arena. Its black hull reflected the red and gold flashes of alien fire, yet not a single mark appeared. Not a scratch. Not a dent. Not a shimmer of light. Nothing. The arena AI was panicking. Warning. Unknown human vessel is unresponsive to all attacks. All alien targeting systems remain offline. Danger level, extreme. Exorthal's face turned pale. This cannot be. One human ship. One human ship is defeating us before a shot hits. A faint vibration ran through the arena. The spectators froze. Alien viewers leaned closer to their screens, unable to look away. Something was about to happen. Then the human ship pulsed. A soft, white light spread outward from its hull, subtle but powerful. Alien sensors screamed in error. Missiles suddenly veered off course. Energy beams fizzled and disappeared. Even the massive Vorkon shields began to flicker. The human ship had not fired a weapon yet. Not a single shot. Yet, the alien fleet was already crippled. Commentators stammered, their voices trembling. I have never seen this. The human ship, it is controlling the battlefield, without firing a single weapon. The Vorkon commander shouted, "Concentrate fire. Focus everything on the center of the arena. Break that ship." Missiles, lasers, and plasma beams launched at the human battleship in a desperate storm. The arena itself seemed to shake under the sheer energy. The spectators cheered and gasped, thinking they were about to witness a massive clash. But the human ship remained calm. Its pulse grew slightly brighter, bending space around it. The missiles spun wildly in orbit, colliding with each other or exploding harmlessly in empty space. The energy beams twisted and fractured, unable to reach the ship. Exorthal's jaw tightened. How is this possible? This should not happen. Then, a single clear voice echoed across all channels. Vorkon fleet, cease your attack. You are endangering yourselves. Protocol permits defensive response only. The aliens froze. The calm, commanding voice of the human ship carried authority far beyond anything they had ever known. Even the bravest Vorkon officers hesitated. A junior officer whispered in awe, "It's not attacking, yet it controls everything. It's beyond our understanding." The human ship moved very slightly forward, and the effect grew stronger. The entire alien fleet staggered, some ships drifting off course, others blinking out of formation entirely. The humans were not firing. They were not threatening directly. Yet every alien commander felt the power of that ship, as if it could destroy them all with just a thought. Exorthal banged the console in frustration. Prepare the super weapons. Use everything. If one human ship can do this, we will not fail to destroy it with our mightiest power. The arena lit up with a terrifying display. Ancient Vorkon supercannons charged, warships braced for impact, and the spectators held their collective breath. They expected a blinding explosion, a fierce battle. And yet, the human ship simply glided forward. Its black hull shimmered faintly under the blasts, untouched. The alien supercannons fired. The missiles struck the space around it. The lasers hit nothing. The silence that followed was heavier than any explosion. Alien pride was cracking. Confidence, once absolute, was gone. The human ship had not attacked once. And yet, it had already defeated the Vorkon fleet's first assault without lifting a weapon. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Billions of eyes, billions of minds, all trying to comprehend the impossible. One human ship, unmoving, calm, and silent, controlling the battlefield with unknown systems. The story of humans, thought weak, thought primitive, was changing before the eyes of the entire galaxy. The Vorkon fleet realized a terrifying truth: they had never faced humans like this. Not just humans with courage or cunning. Humans with power beyond imagination. And the black horizon continued to float in the center of the arena, silent, mysterious, and unstoppable. The Vorkon fleet was in chaos. Their weapons had failed. Their formations were shattered. Even the supercannons had done nothing. The alien commanders stared in disbelief at the human battleship. One ship, unmoving, silent, yet more powerful than an entire fleet. General Exorthal slammed his claws against the console. Enough. If we cannot hit them, we will crush them with numbers. Fire everything. Thousands of missiles and beams surged toward the black horizon, lighting up the arena in red and gold flashes. Alien engines roared, shields flared, and the spectators gasped in anticipation. This was supposed to be the moment when humans finally fell. But the human ship did not flinch. Its massive black hull glided calmly, almost like a shadow floating in space. And then, something unexpected happened. A low hum began from the human ship. It was subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but then it grew louder. The air, no, space itself, seemed to vibrate. The missiles that were closing in suddenly twisted in impossible curves. They spun wildly, colliding with each other or exploding harmlessly in empty space. Alien lasers bent and fizzled as if invisible hands were redirecting them. The Vorkon fleet froze in shock. "What is happening?" one officer shouted. "They are bending space. The missiles, the lasers." And then the human ship acted. Small lights blinked along its hull. They multiplied, hundreds of tiny dots spreading outward. Each dot pulsed with bright energy. The human ship had launched its first strike. The lights were not missiles. Not drones. Something else. They moved in perfect coordination, forming invisible waves in the space between the ships. The Vorkon fleet tried to dodge or attack them, but nothing worked. Within seconds, their missiles collided mid-air, their shields flickered, and several destroyers lost all power, drifting helplessly. Exorthal's eyes widened. Impossible! How one ship? The human ship fired next. A beam of white energy appeared from the center of its hull. It was silent, bright, and precise. It struck a Vorkon battleship at the front of the formation. The ship did not explode violently. There was no fireball. But when the smoke cleared, the battleship was completely disabled. Systems offline. Weapons dead. Engines gone. Nothing. The rest of the Vorkon fleet panicked. "Retreat. Maneuver. Fall back," shouted officers, but there was nowhere to run. The human drones moved with perfect timing, bending space to block every exit, controlling every angle of the battlefield. The spectators were stunned. Commentators whispered frantically, "Ladies and gentlemen, the human ship, it is destroying the Vorkon fleet without even touching most ships directly. How is this possible?" Exorthal's claws dug into the console. "Do not let them survive. Fire everything. Focus all energy on the center." The human ship responded with the same calm precision. Its beam and the small lights worked together to disable ship after ship. Shields collapsed. Engines failed. Missiles tumbled away uselessly. The Vorkon fleet had the firepower to destroy a dozen planets, and yet here they were, powerless against a single ship. The arena lights reflected off the black horizon's hull. The vast, silent battleship seemed almost alive, as if it understood every move the Vorkon fleet would make before they even made it. Exorthal's pride shattered. The alien commanders whispered among themselves, some beginning to realize that the humans were not just clever or lucky. They were something else entirely. Something beyond comprehension. And the black horizon continued to glide through the arena. Its first strike had already changed the battlefield. The Vorkon fleet had gone from confident and proud to terrified and confused in minutes. The galaxy watched in silence, billions of eyes realizing a simple truth: humans were not what they expected. One ship had just proven that everything they thought about humans was wrong. The story of humans, thought weak and primitive, was only beginning, and it was already terrifying the greatest empire in the arena. The Vorkon fleet was collapsing. Destroyer after destroyer floated powerless, engines dead, shields gone. The commanders had never felt such fear. They had trained for centuries, mastered tactics, and yet one human ship had undone everything. General Xorthal's claws shook on the console. "We will not lose. We are the Vorkon. Prepare the super weapon. Activate everything." The arena trembled as the ancient Vorkon supercannon powered up. Its core glowed red and orange, brighter than a small star. Missiles and plasma beams flared alongside it. The audience, billions of eyes watching, cheered and gasped at the terrifying sight. This was supposed to end the human ship once and for all. The human battleship, the Black Horizon, remained calm. Its massive black hull floated silently in the center. No engines flared. No weapons fired. Nothing. The supercannon fired. A massive beam of energy shot straight toward the human ship. The entire arena shook. The Vorkon cheered, confident that this was the end. For a moment, it seemed like the beam would strike. The white-hot energy surged across space, faster than thought, and hit the human ship's hull. And then, nothing. The beam dissipated as if it had hit a wall of invisible force. The human ship was untouched. Not a dent, not a scratch, not even a shimmer. It floated calmly, perfectly unharmed. Xorthal froze. His jaw dropped. How is this possible? The supercannon. It should destroy it. The audience gasped. Commentators whispered frantically, "Ladies and gentlemen, the human ship, it survived the Vorkon superweapon. Entirely unharmed. How is this possible?" The human ship pulsed faintly. Tiny white lights blinked along its hull, spreading outward, controlling the battlefield. Vorkon ships that had tried to flee found themselves unable to escape, caught by invisible forces. Engines failed mid-burn. Weapons jammed. The most powerful fleet in the arena was now completely trapped. Xorthal's hands shook. He had trained his entire life to lead fleets into battle, but now, one human ship had turned his most powerful weapon into nothing. He whispered, almost to himself, They cannot be human." The Black Horizon moved slightly, almost like a shadow drifting forward. Its presence alone reshaped the battlefield. Ships were disabled without a single direct hit. Missiles spun away, plasma beams fizzled, and entire Vorkon formations fell apart. The spectators were silent. No cheering. No laughter. Only shock and awe. Aliens across the galaxy began questioning everything they knew about humans. One young officer whispered, "If one ship can do this, what is the full human fleet capable of?" The Vorkon fleet had given everything, their superweapon, their largest ships, all their trained warriors, and it was still not enough. They had underestimated humans. They had mocked them. And now, their greatest empire in the arena was defeated before a single human had truly attacked. The Black Horizon floated in the center, calm, silent, and impossible. Its presence alone had destroyed the pride of the Vorkon. Its first strike, followed by the survival of their superweapon, proved that humans were not weak, not primitive, not to be underestimated. And the galaxy, billions of eyes watching in silence, realized the terrifying truth: humans were not like any other species. They were something else entirely. The story of humans, once dismissed and mocked, had reached a turning point. The Vorkon Empire had seen it firsthand. One ship had changed the battlefield forever. And the black horizon had only just begun. The Vorkon fleet lay in ruins. Ships drifted powerless through the arena, engines dead, shields collapsed. Commanders stared at the massive human battleship, unable to comprehend what had just happened. One ship had destroyed their formations, survived their superweapon, and remained completely unharmed. General X Orthal gritted his teeth. Impossible. One human ship. How can this be? The human battleship, the Black Horizon, floated silently in the center. Its black hull reflected the broken lights of the arena, calm and unreadable. For the first time, a signal came from it, clear and deliberate. Vorkon fleet, we did not come to fight. We came to warn. The ship's voice echoed across all channels. It was calm, measured, and carried authority far beyond any alien commander's voice. The Vorkon paused. The other alien fleets in the arena watched in stunned silence. Humans had not attacked, they had defended, controlled, and now, they were speaking. The galaxy is not ready for what is coming, the Black Horizon continued. Your pride, your weapons, your fleets, they are nothing compared to the threat beyond. Do not interfere again. A hush fell across the arena. Alien commentators stammered, unable to explain what had just happened. Billions of eyes across the galaxy watched the story of humans change in front of them. They had thought humans weak, slow, and primitive. Now, the truth was undeniable. Humans were unstoppable, intelligent, and terrifyingly advanced. General Exorthal's face was pale. They are not like us. They are something else entirely. Then, without warning, the Black Horizon activated its teleportation system. A ripple of distortion spread across the arena, bending light and space. The massive ship vanished in an instant, leaving no trace behind. The Vorkon fleet and every alien spectator could only stare in awe and fear. For the first time, the galaxy realized a simple truth. If one human ship could do this, a full human fleet could change everything. Entire empires would have to rethink their strength, their technology, their strategies. The humans were no longer to be underestimated. The arena was silent. The Vorkon fleet remained scattered and powerless, their pride shattered. The spectators whispered, some in awe, others in terror. Across the galaxy, stories would be told of the day the humans showed their true strength, not through brute attack, but through calm, precise, unstoppable power. And the legend of the Black Horizon had only just begun. One human ship had entered the arena, challenged the greatest empire present, and left a warning that would echo across the stars for generations. The humans were coming, and the galaxy was not ready. The story ended in silence, but the fear and respect for humanity were just beginning. The galaxy had witnessed the impossible. And now, everyone knew, humans were a force unlike any other.